You know, not that long ago, I did a video on camera talking about the fact that, well, talking about the fact that companies like Windows, Mac, Linux, all these software companies that bring out all these different versions of software that they have or had developed many years ago. Every time they bring an updated or upgraded version of that software out to coincide with the latest generation of laptops, computers, etc., they always seem to let you know that once in a while you're going to get an update. You're going to get an upgrade. Well, it seems that Windows, which is owned by Microsoft, has been having a little bit of trouble. Now, I mentioned recently in a video that if Microsoft, Mac, Linux, anybody that makes software, anybody that makes any kind of software, basically the kind of software that nowadays is a part of your laptop or your computer that you buy, it seems that most of these softwares, these services, are nothing more at times than advertisements to go out and buy the latest upgraded version of the same software. Or they're just secret advertisements to go out and buy the latest computer or laptop. Now, if you had the money to do so, oh yeah, just to shut up those corporations, you would do it. But most of us don't. When some of us have the money to go out and buy ourselves a laptop or a computer, at times that computer or that laptop will only last us for so long. I've had to go out not once, not twice, but 3 times and get a laptop. The first 2 times was because my computer, well, let's put it this way, the laptop I ended up getting was good. It was more of a flash drive laptop. In other words, the storage space wasn't exactly storage space. Now, for what I paid, it worked and did its job. My mom's continues to work and do its job, and it's the same kind of computer. But my stupidity sometimes doesn't realize that those kind of computers are easily affected by the wrong kind of direction that you go in. So what did I do? Well, of course, I ended up getting a new one, but I knew the only way I could probably make sure none of this ever happened again, at least for the time being, was to buy one that was almost, I would say a little over $325, almost $350. And that was my current computer, my HP Silver Fusion, which, by the way, wasn't even a year old when I bought it. So, what does that mean? What does that mean when it comes to Windows 10 and such? Or any kind of software service like that? Well, just like with any computer, they have to basically upgrade the service every now and then. Okay, fine. I can understand if they do it every season. Like you got a winter package that they have to upgrade, you have to upgrade to. You got a spring package, a summer package, a fall package. And sometimes these packages that are free, by the way, sometimes they're just little patches, little patch-ups, if you will. Maybe you'll get a new feature thrown in every now and then. Maybe you'll get maybe you'll get a new feature thrown in every now and then. Maybe sometimes the update will be so massive or such an overhaul that you'll notice the slightest changes, that instead of noticing, I should say, the slightest changes, you will notice major changes. But it's one thing, though, to do an upgrade only once a season. Whether you do that update at the beginning of the year or the end of the year to coincide with winter, whether you do that update at the end of August or around the beginning of October, middle of September to coincide with fall, or you do that update between the end of February and the middle of April to coincide with spring, or you do that update to coincide between the end of May and into almost the beginning of August to coincide with summer. That's one thing. It's another when you constantly, over the past several weeks, have to do back-to-back updates. And that's what's been happening with Windows 10. Okay, a couple weeks ago, about a week or two ago, Windows not only did one, not only did two, but it felt like they did 3 back-to-back updates. I'm not kidding. And some of the reasoning they gave for that is the fact. Some of the reason they gave for it is they screwed up, or someone infected their original updates. Yeah, someone apparently or something got into the original update, which probably would have been 1 or 2, mostly 1, and corrupted the files, corrupted their system, the software, their upgrade. So what do? They come back and they do another one. And it looks like this one fixes things, but then reports are it also is corrupted, and some computers and laptops and Androids or whatever are affected. And they're not working properly. They still work, but it takes a lot of mumbo jumbo to get them working again. So here comes a third time. And this time, apparently third time's a charm, because this time it looks like things are okay. So you think after 3, almost 4 times, that'd be it, right? Wrong. Because that's not it. This past week, yesterday, as a matter of fact, we had another update. And what does that make it? 4 or 5 updates within the span of just a few weeks or less? Are you kidding me? I mean, Microsoft, I love you guys for creating the Xbox. I really do. Xbox One S, great system, no doubt. Xbox 360, great system, no doubt. Your Windows service, Windows 10, Windows 8, great, no doubt. They do their job. Windows 7, when I had it, did its job. No problem. Windows XP had a few hiccups towards the end of its existence, but still did its job. No problem. No problem whatsoever. Like I said, did its job. No problem whatsoever. But then now you get to Windows 10. Which at first everybody was happy. They praised. It started out great. A lot of people loved what you gave us with it. But lately, instead of finally announcing, let's say, Windows 11 or Windows 12, you decide to keep Windows 10 going by constantly updating and updating and updating and updating and updating and updating and updating. You're doing something that shouldn't be done. How long has Windows 10 been out? What, almost a decade? Or less? By logical software electronic standpoints or perspectives, hasn't it done and run its course? Shouldn't this be the time where you're like, okay, let's bring out Windows 11, bring out Windows 12? It seems that way to me. I mean, I don't get it. I really don't get it. If you're constantly going to do updates, then take my suggestion I made earlier in an earlier video. Do it once or twice a year, and make sure the consumers like myself know you're doing it. Make sure we, the consumers, know you're doing it, so we'll be ready. or at least we could schedule when we would like to have it done, so that if we're asleep or we're away at work, you can go ahead and do it. If you'd only do 1 or 2 major updates a year, that's fine. But constantly doing them almost every week or every few weeks because one original update got screwed over, it should only take 1 or 2 tries to fix it, and that's it. But you know what's funny is when one thinks about it, it's almost like these updates going through the repair shop as constantly as they did, that should be a sign not just to Microsoft, but to any developers of this kind of software for computers, laptops, and so on. It should be a sign that the time has come to work on a newer version. The time has come to introduce the world to the next step. Not constantly keep the current one that's apparently running its course towards its eventual end, which could be very soon. It should be a sign not to keep doing that. I mean, let's take a look at some video games, like let's say the WWE series. It wasn't until recently that it was announced we were going to get a new game engine, and obviously, as you could see from, let's say, 2K18 and 2K17, but mostly 18, we got a new game engine. Things are different. Things have improved in somewhat ways. Inevitably, video games have to stop using the same engine and upgrade to a newer game engine so that graphics and stuff work properly or look better. The same is said for software like Windows. Sooner or later, your constant updating of the same engine or service engine or system engine is going to wear it out, to the point that inevitably you're going to have to make the decision to put Windows 10 out to pasture and bring in Windows 11 or Windows 12 or whatever it is. Because sooner or later, Windows is supposed to be compatible with a lot of the gaming systems you have, like the Xbox, right? Sooner or later, it's not going to be able to do that because you're constantly updating it. And if these screw-ups that happened, not that long ago, not even a few weeks ago, is any indication to any publisher, any company, that it's time to work on and eventually bring out your newest version of your software, I don't know what does. Here's the thing. If you are consistent, if you are determined to keep using the same software over and over again and 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 again, you are determined to do that, then like I said, do it the right way. Choose the beginning of the year and either the middle or towards the end of the year to do your updates. So that way you get all your updates, everything worked out, everything taken care of. So that way you won't have a problem later on, and that way people don't have to turn on their computers, turn on their laptops, or tablets, whatever, and when they go to the Windows icon to either shut it down or put it to sleep or reset it, they don't notice the word update, and they won't notice the words update and shut down or update and reset. They won't notice that. If you do it once or twice a year, you do one major update. But again, this should be a sign. If you have to constantly do updates within the span of not even 2 weeks, it feels like that. It should be a sign that the time has come to basically fix things. It should be a sign to finally upgrade to the next level. It should be a sign that you need to start doing that. But you don't. I mean, I hate to say this, but even cable companies know when the time has come to update. When me and my mom moved from Patterson, California to Newman, and we brought our cable service with us, we were given the option to upgrade our cable service. Keep it the same but get upgraded equipment. And guess what? That's exactly what happened. Heck, even recently, our cable company sends us a letter saying, hey, on us, get an upgraded modem. And eventually we probably will. The point is, you can't constantly rely on the same software time and time again and think by upgrading it, it's going to help you. It's going to make things better. It's only going to help for so much longer. Sooner or later, Windows, Macs, Linux, or whatever softwares are provided on whatever computers are going to do an upgrade on the current service with the current software, and that upgrade is going to kill every computer that it's a part of. If Mac has a similar software like Windows 10, and they decide to upgrade, like they probably constantly do anyway, in my opinion, from what I can tell, one of these days, if they continue to do so, it's going to ruin everybody's laptops and computers that have it. Same with Linux, same with Microsoft or whatever. It's going to ruin the computer because you constantly depend on the same software and you figure, oh, we just patch it up, add a few things here and there, it will be fine. No. There's things about remodeling. There's things about remodeling that work and don't work. And sometimes when you constantly keep remodeling and remodeling and remodeling, yeah, it may make the home or may make your house or part of your house look good, but sooner or later, it's going to look bad. It's going to be like, okay, we remodeled this part of the living room. Why are we doing it again? It's going to look bad. Like I said, gaming companies know when it's time to upgrade. Heck, Microsoft, you have the Xbox, right? The Xbox One, Xbox One S, Xbox X, right? Or Xbox One X. Why do you, after just several years, 5, 4, 6 years, decide, okay, it's time to make a new console? Why? Because you want to compete with your competitors? Yes, that's one. But you also know that you can't keep updating the same software the same software in the gaming system, in your current console, time and time again. I mean, heck, I recently read online that after so long, they decided to finally give the Xbox 360 an update because the main focus was on the Xbox One consoles. Get what I'm saying? Yeah, you can go back and do that, but if your main focus is going to be your current generation of consoles, then that should be your focus. That software should be the software you focus on upgrading. Same with PlayStation 4. Sony knew that they couldn't keep updating and updating and updating the PS3, so they had to focus on the PS4, and guess what? Even though some of us may not like the updates coming out of nowhere at times, at least they're focusing more on that than the PS3, which in a sense is still in existence. And the same with the Nintendo. Nintendo, now with the Switch, knows they gotta focus on that and updating that software more so than focusing on the Wii U and maybe even the freaking Wii. The point is, folks, when you have to constantly update something almost within the span of less than 2 weeks, all because the first update or the first 2 updates ended up being corrupted by some kind of malware or virus or whatever it was, or the files were bad, I don't know, then maybe it's time, then maybe that's a sign that it's time to build a new service, to build a new software, to create a new software, to introduce the next level of software. In this case for Windows, in this case for Microsoft, it's either something like a Windows 11 or 12. For something like Mac, it could be Mac 2018, 2019. You get the idea. But this should be a sign. And if not, and you're still consistently wanting to push your current software and service, then do us a favor. Do it once or twice a year. Do one major update on those 2 occasions and be done with it. That's all we ask, folks. So that's all I'm going to say on it, folks. So that's all I'm going to say. Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. I'd love to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on what I had to say here? And I'll talk to y'all later.